Hey guys, Mr. Happy here and welcome to my guide for the Dragon's Neck, a new fight in patch 2.4 that pits you up against Ultros and Typhoon. In order to access this fight, you must have unlocked it through the Hildebrand quest, Colosseum Conundrum, and have a minimum item level of 80 to enter. This fight is broken up into 3 phases as shown on the screen right now. If you would like to skip to a specific phase, please click on the phase you'd like to skip to now, or use the index in the top left of the video at any point. At the start of the fight, assign 1 tank to Ultros and 1 to Typhoon. The Ultros tank should position him as seen on this diagram, and Typhoon can be tanked pretty much anywhere as long as it's not too close to the edge. If at any point anyone on your team walks off the arena or is knocked off by any abilities, they will be temporarily stunned and be given the debuff out of the action. If at any point in the fight all 8 party members are outside of the arena at the same time, the fight will be considered an automatic failure. Luckily, after you are unstunned, you can jump back on and continue fighting. Ultros and Typhoon have an attack that they can use on one another that levels out their HP. They tend to use this attack when they have about a 10% difference in current health. Because of this, the two of them technically share a health bar, so it's okay for everyone to focus on just one of them. Which one it is doesn't really matter. In this phase, Ultros only has 2 attacks. The first is Megavolt, which does a weak AoE around him that does about 1000 damage. The second is Aqua Breath, which does a weak cone in front of him for about 1000 damage. Damage-wise, this shouldn't be a big deal, but Aqua Breath is very important to the fight. Typhoon also has very few attacks in this phase. He has an attack that will occasionally hit the tank a lot harder, called Grind, and he also has 2 Snort attacks. One of them is an instant Snort in front of him on his tank, and the other is a cone AoE behind him. Both of these attacks knock back, so avoid letting them eject you from the ring. He also has an attack called Fireball, which shoots an AoE at a random party member. Just avoid this as you would any other AoE. At 80% on either boss, Ultros will turn all 4 of your DPS into Imps, reducing their maximum HP and preventing them from using their normal attacks. On the pet hotbar, each Imped DPS will have a single attack, Imp Strike. This attack can be powered up by being hit by Ultros' Aqua Breath attack, which gives each Imped player a stacking debuff called Wet Plate each time they are hit by it. So once Imped, all 4 DPS should go stand in front of Ultros with his tank. After 2 or 3 Aqua Breaths, Typhoon will head to the middle of the room and begin glowing as he prepares his severe Snort attack. If this attack is not stopped, it will knock everyone out of the arena, causing an instant wipe. In order to stop it, you will need to expend his 8 stacks of Invigoration by hitting him with Imp Punch. For each stack of Wet Plate, you will remove 1 stack of Typhoon's Invigoration buff. So in total, your 4 DPS need to have at least 8 stacks in order to stop him. This marks the end of Phase 1. Phase 2 is mostly identical to Phase 1. Ultros will gain a new attack called 4 tons weight, which attempts to drop on several players. If a player is hit, they will take some damage and be stunned. Also, this time when the DPS are turned into Imps, Typhoon will run to the middle of the room and perform a continuous Snort attack. While performing this, Typhoon will rotate counterclockwise slowly, so the party has to keep moving to avoid being hit, while the DPS simultaneously ensure to be hit by Aqua Breath. If this Snort hits you, it will do some damage and knock you off of the arena. This is why I recommend this position for tanking Ultros, as it makes rotating much smoother. After Typhoon starts glowing again, have the DPS Imp Punch him one more time to begin the final phase. Keep in mind that if your DPS fail the Imp Punch, it is possible to quickly jump back on the platform when you are knocked off. It will still stun you, but as long as you are inside the arena and alive, it will prevent the instant wipe. Tempered Will and Holmgang don't seem to prevent the knockback from severe Snort. From this point on, the DPS will never be imped again, but Ultros and Typhoon will gain several new abilities. Ultros will now gain the ability to summon 3 tentacles on the outside of the arena. These will either do a line AoE or a large conal AoE. Regardless, being hit will knock you back very far, potentially out of the ring, so do your best to avoid them. Typhoon will gain 2 new attacks. His first one is Funga, in all caps of course. This attack will place a mark above a random party member's head other than the tanks, as well as surrounding them in a circle. When he performs the attack, he will knock the marked player directly into the air and knock any players within the circle surrounding them away. His other new attack is Snort Soul. When he performs this attack, he will run to the center of the room and snort 5 times in a row, knocking everyone slightly back each time. Everyone will want to run to the center of the arena when he does this, and constantly run towards the center as he spams his snorts to prevent being knocked out of the arena. Tempered Will and Holmgang do work on this snort. And other than this, just keep DPSing them and avoid letting everyone be knocked out of the ring, and it should be an easy win from this point on. A caster limit break on both of them will help speed things up as well. After your victory, there will be a single wind-up Ultros in the loot list, so good luck on winning this perverted minion for your own. Hopefully this guide was of use to you. If it was, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Final Fantasy XIV information, guides, news, everything. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.